Hey there, future fellow weird ass black sheep. Welcome. You have officially entered the party pit. It's my humble cave. Welcome. No. I am not the stranger. I am the Saint of Awesome, your super stone sage, Saint Mickey K the Great. That is me. And what we do here in this most amazing place is first, we take off our Devon Dudley sunglasses. Yeah. And then we read this great ass book called God Said. It's a trilogy. We're on book 2 called Jesus, comma, who? Question mark. Because apparently people need to know God the Third. So I am going to gladly introduce you to God the Third because he is so amazing. He's like a good guy. He's a good guy to know. He's a good guy. So I'm going to introduce him to you. So, where we left off, um, oh yeah, Jesus told them for the first time that terrible shit's about to happen to him. And Peter's like, you're being uber melodramatic, dude. And Jesus is like, shut up, asshole. You don't even know. And Peter's like, I would know if you told me. And Jesus like, I ain't telling you shit. So it was like a whole melodramatic conversation. Jesus was crying and Peter was crying. And then Jesus got pissed off because Peter was crying. Like, you're taking my spotlight, dude. Something like that. So Jesus made Peter feel stupid for saying Jesus. Maybe you shouldn't be like that, dude. But no, Jesus wants to be like that. So Jesus is like that. Um, what else did he tell him? Nothing. He didn't tell him nothing. But he was doing a whole lot of mic dropping before that though. He was mic dropping all over these terrible ass God people. Like every time they turned around, Jesus was dropping a mic on them. It was like that whole Disturbed song. Only instead of plates, it was mics. Dropping mics on that ass, bitch. Right? And Jesus was doing that. Right? And that is where we left off. Why isn't there any talkie thing? Like a thingamabob. What is this one? Huh. Well, this is very awkward. We're gonna do this. Okay. Now you guys are on the couch. That feels much better, so I can see you over there on the couch. So, if hearing about Jesus and more of his mic drop moments sounds completely amazing to you, come this way because I've got a whole lot of amazing stories to tell you. It's going to be so much fun. Oh, it's going to be fun for me. I don't know if it's going to be fun for anybody else, but come along and find out if it's going to be fun for you. Because it's totally going to be fun for you. Right up until we get to like the last 2 chapters. Then it's not fun. Well, the third to last and second to last chapters, maybe not so fun. But the last chapter is hilarious. And the first few chapters, while Jesus is making these people look like assholes, that is hilarious. And that is one of the times where I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm Jesus's friend. Could you imagine being his enemy? How much burn cream you would need? Jesus. You would just have to walk around with like a burn ward attached to your back, dealing with that guy if you're his enemy. Yeah, it was a whole thing. But anyway, oh my God. No. Did you see that? No. Well, no, you didn't see that, but I just, man, I just almost wrecked this whole Bible. Okay. So we're going to go on to chapter 9. So before we do that, where are you coming in from? What are you drinking? And what are you smoking? Feel free to let me know. Chat in the chat. I would love to interact with you. And if you're on replay crew, watch at 1.5 speed. Watch at 1.5 speed and comment in the comment section because I know a lot of people are going to watch this on replay. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe and comment because comments are always fun. And I do talk back to them. I know creators are not supposed to pay attention to the comments, but I mean, there ain't nothing y'all can tell me that ain't nobody else already told me. Because other people try to shit on the Bible when I read it all the time. It's like, have you ever heard me read the Bible? Do you think I give a shit about anything that you just said? Because I didn't even take the time to read it. So there's that. But now that we are there, we're going to go on to chapter 9. Damn it, I was so late. See, right about this time is the time that everybody shows up. But because I was late, now nobody's going to show up. See, this is crap. ah. But even if I would have been on time, I don't think anybody would showed up on time. But now that I'm not on time, it's like people didn't show up because they didn't see my live stream at 10:15. I was feeding the raccoons and trying to get the cats in the house. None of the cats came in the house and the raccoons ran away. So here I am. Here we go again on my own. Okay. So we are on chapter 9. And he was saying to them, listen, I'm telling you, there are some of those who are standing here who shall not taste death until they see the kingdom of God after it has come with power. And 6 days later, Jesus took with him Peter and the sons of thunder and brought them, see this part. this, this motherfucker. Okay. So Jesus takes these dudes, Peter and the sons of thunder, he takes them on top of this mountain because he wants to show them he's a shiny vampire. So Jesus does this, but then Moses and Elijah show up, right? And then fucking Peter, he's like, hey, do you think we should build you guys a house? We built 3 houses. We have a good time. And then as Peter was interrupting this special moment between Jesus, Elijah, and Moses, a cloud covers them. And a voice came from the cloud saying,
This is my son. Shut up, Peter. He's literally talking to people. He doesn't need you to interrupt him while he's talking with people. So shut up, Peter. Peter! Yeah. Shut up, Peter.
so, so they got down and did the face thing because of the blasting voice from the clouds, because Peter don't know how to shut up. Jesus said, get over yourself, guys. It's only me. And then when they opened their eyes, it was only Jesus, because no duh. And then as Jesus was walking down the mountain with them, because they'll be coming down the mountain when they come, he's like, don't say shit about this till after I'm dead. I mean, you could tell him now, and I could save face and make you guys look like assholes by saying no. Or you can wait till I'm dead. If you can wait till I'm dead to say this to people, it won't make you look like you're making up stories or nothing. No, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. It'll be good. Okay. And they seized upon that statement, discussing with one and except Jesus. And they were coming down the mountain, and he said, don't tell anybody until I come back to life. And they were discussing among themselves, how the fuck is he going to come back to life? What is he even talking about? No one knows what's happening. No one knows what's happening. No one knows what's happening. So, while they're discussing what's happening, even though they do not know what's happening, they said, and then they asked him, saying it, why is it that the scribes say Elijah must come first? And then Jesus said, Elijah does come first and restore all things. Yet, how it is written, the Son of Man, he should suffer many things and be treated with contempt. What? Elijah does come first and restore all things. And yet, how is it written, the Son of Man, he should suffer many things and be treated with contempt? Listen, Jesus, they were talking about Elijah. Look, Jesus is so, man. He's like, I know you were talking about this, but what about my suffering? You know, did you guys pay attention to my suffering? Do you guys realize what's about to happen? And they're like, Jesus, man, you keep saying this all the time. Man, we don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear about all the bad stuff. Okay. It's like every 5 minutes with you. Did you know I'm going to die? Did you know things are going to suck for me? Did you know? Of course we know. We've read Das Bible. We know it's going to suck. But in our minds right now, as we speak, none of this shit is real. It'll get real, okay? I don't know when, Jesus, but Eventually, it's going to get real, but until then, keep your melodrama to yourself. Jesus did not say that. That was not a conversation that they had. But in my mind, it feels like that's the exact shit I would have said. Like, really, are you going to ruin our good time with more dead stories? Knock it off. Stop it. Just stop. Okay. Just let me drink this Mountain Dew Baja Blast in peace without you reminding me that you're about to die. And then that's when I would have told them, I know that um, you're going on this big, extravagant tour, and the finale is going to be something. But I'm sorry, I cannot go with you. I got a family and I got kids, and you're talking about you're going to die. And if you're going to die, I can't be here no more because I don't want to die. I'm like a murderer who kills people and gets a death penalty. And then dude does all my appeals because I don't want to die. Yeah, I'm like that, Jesus. Oh my God. My cat's jumping all over shit back there in the kitchen behind that curtain. Okay. But listen, I'm telling you, Elijah has indeed come, and they did to him whatever they wished, just as it is written of him. And when they came back to the disciples, they saw a large crowd around them and the scribes arguing with them. Oh, here we go. Mickety, 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 mic drop. Here it comes. And immediately, then the entire crowd saw Jesus. They were amazed and began running to greet him. Your tour is not supposed to be here for another week. How lucky are we? Are you going to do your concert early? Is that why you're here? Man, we need autographs. Go get everybody. You're doing your concert early? Oh man, it wouldn't it be amazing if you did your concert early? I mean, you're here. You could do your concert early, like a day early. Yeah. But your disciples are having a hard time. You should go check them out. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. And when he went down there, someone said, "Teacher, I brought you my son possessed with the spirit which makes him mute. And whenever it seizes him, it dashes him to the ground and he foams at his mouth, grinds his teeth, and stiffens out. And I told your disciples to cast it out, and they could not do it because they fucking suck." And then Jesus was like, ugh. "You unbelieving generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring him here. So tired of this. I'm so tired of this." Is that a raccoon in my kitchen? Hello? That is a raccoon in my kitchen. What are you doing? Oh, no. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? can't do that. No, you can't do that. What are you doing? Man, I have way too many animals. Wasn't a raccoon, it was a cat. Damn cats. Okay. So Jesus said, okay, bring me the kid. And they brought the boy. And when he saw him, immediately the spirit threw him into a convulsion. And falling to the ground, he began rolling about and foaming at the mouth. And he asked his father, how long has this been going on? And the dad was like, pretty much his whole life. And has often thrown him both into moving cars and fire. I'm just kidding. It only throws. Hey, hi, Miss Muddy. It's okay. I'll tell you a story while you fall asleep. I will. Okay. He has been doing this since childhood. It often throws him into moving cars, fire, and water to destroy him. But if you can do anything, take pity and help us. And Jesus said, if you can, all things are possible to him who believes. Immediately, the boy's father cried out and began saying, I do believe, help my unbelief. And when Jesus saw that a crowd was gathering, he rebuked the unclean spirit, saying, you deaf and uneducated spirit, I commend you to come out of him and do not enter into him again. And after crying out and throwing him into terrible convulsions, it came out. And the boy became so much like a corpse that most of them said, he is dead. But Jesus took him by the hand and said, get the hell up, man. You're making me look bad. And he got up. And when he had come into the house, his disciples began questioning him privately. Why could we not cast it out? Because you couldn't. That's why. Just you couldn't cast him out. So that's why. Okay. He said, okay. Bum, bum, bum. Right. And he said to them, this kind cannot come out by anything but prayer. Like they would have known that. Like you told them literally they could get rid of demons. But this one you can't get rid of unless you pray or you're Jesus. And from there they went out and began to go through Galilee. And he was unwilling for anyone to know about it. For he was teaching his disciples and telling them, the Son of Man is to be delivered into the hands of men, and they will unsubscribe him from God Jr.'s YouTube. And when he has been unsubscribed, he will raise 3 days later. That's 420. But they did not understand this statement, and they were afraid to ask him. And they came to Capernaum, and when he was in the house, he began to question them, saying, what were you discussing on the way? But they didn't want to tell him because they had discussed with one another which of them was the greatest. And sitting down, he called to the 12 and said, if anyone wants to be first, he shall be last and servant of all. And taking a child, he sat them before them, and taking him in his arms, he said, "Whoever receives one child in this name, one child like this in my name, receives me. And whoever receives me, it's not only me, but him who sent me." And then John said, "Teacher, we saw someone casting out demons in your name. And we tried to say, we don't know you. That's our job. Only we can do that, not you. Sorry to tell you." But it's like it's a Jesus thing, and you don't know Jesus. So I'm sorry. And then Jesus said, "Do not hinder him, for there is no one who shall perform a miracle in my name and be able soon afterward to speak evil of me." Okay. "For he who is not against us is for us. For whoever gives you a cup of water because because of your name as followers of La Christe, listen, I'm telling you, he shall not lose his reward. And whoever causes one of these little ones who believe to stumble, it would be better for him to be catapulted into a shark tank with pedophiles. And if your hand causes you to stumble, cut it off, because it's better to go to heaven maimed than go to hell with your appendages. Where their worm does not die and the fire is quenched. And if your foot causes you to stumble, cut it off. Where the worm does not die, the fire is not quenched. Oh, okay, never mind. If your hand, your eye, or your foot, whatever in your body causes you to stumble, get rid of it, because it's better to go to heaven maimed than to hell 100%. For everyone will be salted with fire. Salt is good. But if the salt becomes unsalty, see, why is he doing the Sermon of the Mount? See, some of the stuff is in the Sermon on the Mount. But over here in these couple books, it's putting pieces of the Sermon on the Mount in different areas of his book. As like a thing. Okay. Where am I at? Okay. Okay. But anyway, salt is good, but if the salt becomes unsalty, what will you use to make it salty? You have salt in yourselves and be at peace with one another. Right. Be your own fucking spice packet. Your fucking spice packet of life. You have your own fucking flavor, man. You are your own fucking soul flavor. You are your own fucking flavor packet. You're the flavor packet of life. But that's some Sermon on the Mount shit. And we're gonna go on to chapter 10. But let's take a smoke break. Miss Muddy, are you still awake? What do you think about this? Them adding, I guess not adding, but putting the Sermon on the Mount, like putting different sections of it in different chapters in these books instead of all keeping it together like it was supposed to be. But like yesterday, there was a part of the Sermon of the Mount and another one of these things that Jesus said, but it's clearly a sermon. It's from the Sermon on the Mount. And this right here, the whole flavor packet of life thing, that is also from the Sermon on the Mount. And it's like, I don't exactly know, like, I don't know. It feels like, because only one book has the Sermon on the Mount. All the other books have things from the Sermon on the Mount just thrown in there, like roundabout a little bit. Like they have the Sermon on the Mount, but it's always in a different context, and it's never all together. Damn. All right. Well, I'm going to roll a cigarette and continue reading. We're on chapter 10. Okay. And rising up, he went from there to the region of Judea, beyond the Jordan, and crowds gathered around him again to catch a glimpse of him taking a shiny pile of shit. These people are terrible. Okay. Cat, crowds gathered around him again, and according to his custom, he once more began to teach them. And some Pharisees came up to him, testing him, and began to question him whether it was lawful for a man to divorce his wife. And he answered them and said, "Are you guys ready for a mic drop? Yeah, I think you're ready for a mic drop. I'm going to mushroom stamp your forehead with this mic drop. Just wait." And he said, "What did Moses command you?" And they said, "Moses permitted a man to divorce his wife." And then Jesus said, "Because of the hardness of your heart and your peckers always wanting some strange, that's the only reason you guys get to divorce, because you don't know how to shut the fuck up and you're never satisfied." Like, that's a theme with you people. You're never satisfied. You're bloodthirsty monsters. And no matter how much blood you get, it's not enough. So Moses let y'all do it. Yeah. Hold on. But from the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. For this cause, a man will leave his father and his mother and cleave to his wife. And the two shall become one flesh. Consequently, they are no longer two, but one. Therefore, what God has joined together, no man can separate. And in the house, the disciples began questioning him about this. And he said, whoever divorces his wife and marries another woman commits adultery. And if she herself divorces her husband to marry another, she is committing adultery. And they were bringing children to him so that he might touch them. And the disciples rebuked them. Hi, Neil. I was wondering if you guys were going to show up or not. I was wondering, but it's so good to see you, Neil. Okay. So they were bringing the children, and the disciples are like, y'all stop, okay? Just stop. And then Jesus is like, who the fuck made you my manager? Who told you you could tell these people not to see me? Who? Did I say that? Because I don't think I said that. I might have said that. No, I didn't say that. Don't tell these people they can't come see me. You're not my manager. As a matter of fact, my manager is God Jr., and he told y'all to fuck off. Okay. Yeah. For the kingdom of God belongs to such as these. Because listen, I'm telling you, who does not receive the kingdom of God like a child shall never enter it at all. And he took them in his arms and began blessing them, laying his hands on them. And then he was setting out on a journey. A man ran up to him and did the face thing and said, good teacher, what do I do to inherit life? And Jesus was like, why are you calling me good? There is only one good, and that's God Jr. I'm God the third. I mean, I am good, but I'm not as good as that guy. I would call that guy good first. You know what I mean? And then the dude's like, well, what do I do? And Jesus is like, do you follow the 10 commandments? And he's like, yeah, I follow the 10 commandments. And then Jesus is like, well, then go sell all your stuff and give it, or go give all your stuff away. You'll be fine. And then the guy's like, yeah, but on my PlayStation 5. And Jesus said, well, there's your answer. You're not going to heaven because your PlayStation 5 is more important to you. Sorry. And Jesus, looking around, said to his disciples, how hard will it be for those who are wealthy to enter the kingdom of the God, or of God? And the disciples were amazed at his words. But Jesus said, children, how hard is it to enter the KOG? It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the KOG. And they were even more astonished and said, Well, then how? And he's like, no man can do it, but God. All things are possible through God. Just like that. And then Peter was like, we have left everything and we have followed you. And Jesus said, there is no one who has left anything for my sake or for the gospel's sake, but that he shall receive 100 times as much now in the present age, houses, brothers, sisters, mothers, children, wait, children, and farms, along with persecutions, and in the age to come, eternal life. But to many who are first will be last, and the last first. That's in a Dimubo Gear song, but I'm telling you, you don't want to be back of line. That's where all these terrible ass God people go, to the back of the line. And they never get to see God because God never gets to the back of the line. Because I'm telling you, there's more people that Jesus loved. There's more people that Jesus actually loves than these terrible ass God people. So God never gets to back of line. That shit's like purgatory. And me, it's okay. It's fun watching me chopped and screwed. Hey, Neil, did you see my video? Yeah. Yeah, I was late. I think I went live at like 8. No, it was like 10:30. I've been doing this for 44 minutes. So 44 minutes ago. And our little conversation last night on the live stream, I got an interesting email about that. You guys really were getting, what did he call it? Feisty. We were getting feisty last night. Okay. So anyway, Jesus is telling them about the back of the line. If you think you were going to be first, you were going to be last, right? So none of you want to be the greatest because then you're going to back of line with these terrible ass God people. I'm probably going to be in the middle of the line because I am the saint of awesome and I do have grandeur feelings about myself. So I might be in the middle of the line. I can still hear the music, but God never gets down that far. And Firefly, if you DM'd me again, I did not get it yet. I'm getting really good at turning them into videos, ain't I, Neil? Except for this one, it's going to be so chopped and screwed, man. I'm just going to have to redo it. Man. Okay. And they were on the road going up to Jerusalem, and Jesus was walking ahead of them, and they were amazed, and those who followed were fearful. And again, he took the 12 aside and began to tell them what was going to happen to him. Man, here we go with the melodramatic Jesus. Oh, yeah, my new meds, they're kicking ass. But apparently, I'm supposed to be on two new meds, but I've only been taking one because they didn't fill the other one. So I'm supposed to have another medicine, another new medicine. But this one medicine that she gave me, it works really good, and it's not a sedative because they have me on sedatives, antipsychotics. It's like, I don't think and I told her that, said, I don't really think I'm a psychotic. Because when I tell people I'm on antipsychotics, they get all freaked out. Hi, Wheels. Yeah. Is anybody else on an antipsychotic sedative? Because, I kind of want to know why they have me on a sedative. Mm. But either way it goes, if it's another antipsychotic, I'm glad I didn't take it. Mm. Oh, yeah, she was going to give me that anti-nauseous pill. Yeah. Yeah, I should hit this poll because now, oh, man, I'm telling you what, turning my live streams into videos is such a hard job to do because I talk too much. And I was trying really hard not to talk. Hi, Wheels. Did you guys, have I told you guys before? Wheels has been my best friend since like second grade. He was my first kiss. Yeah. Sorry, didn't mean to put you out there, Wheels. But he was my first kiss. And he's the only person I have ever met in my life that had like um how big was your mohawk? Like a 24-inch mohawk on top of his head. It was great. And it took so much shit to get it to stand up straight. And like spikes. Do you remember that, Wheels and Roy Loke? Man, I miss those days. Yep. Anyway, I'm supposed to be reading this book. Okay. So Jesus began to tell them what was going to happen to him, saying, behold, I am super melodramatic, and things are about to get all bad. Yeah. It's like we're going into the ocean without floaties on. And then bam, shark attack. No one knows what happened. But that's going to happen to me. Oh, man, I'm just kidding. Jesus did not say that. What he did say is, um, behold, we are going up to Jewland, and the Son of Man will be delivered to the chief priests and the scribes, and they will condemn him to death and deliver him to the Gentiles, and they will mock him and spit upon him. Look, you was doing the spitting first, Jesus. You was spitting first. And scourge him and kill him. And 3 days later, on 420, he will rise again. And the sons of thunder came up to him, saying, Teacher, we want you to do for us whatever we ask you. Of course you do, because it's in your fucking blood to be greedy rat snakes. Fucking shit. And then he was like, well, what y'all want? And they said that we need to sit in your glory on your right and your left. And Jesus said, haha, that's so cute, but no. No, as a matter of fact, it's going to be Das Babys. Das Baby is going to be on my right and on my left. It's not going to be you two. Yeah, you're going to be sitting on the other side of the table. And not only that, your chairs are going to be facing the wall. Jesus didn't say that. And Jesus said, you have no idea what you're asking for. Are you able to drink from the same cup as me, or to be baptized with the baptism which I'm about to be baptized? And they said, yep. And Jesus said, okay, well, you know what? Yeah, you're going to have it bad. Yeah, it's going to be all bad for you. But as on my right and my left, that's God Jr. He gets to decide, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be babies. It's not going to be any of you. It's going to be a baby on my right, and then a couple of you, and a baby on my left, and then a couple of you. But neither one of you are going to be on either side of me. You're just going to be on the table, facing the wall. I can't. And hearing this, the other 10 began to feel indignant with the sons of thunder. And hearing this, and calling to himself, Jesus said, you know that those who are recognized as rulers by the Gentiles lord over them, and their great men exercise authority over them. But it is not so among you. Wait till you die. Wait until you die, big guy. Because I'm telling you what, these motherfuckers wish that this was true among them, because Peter decided he was going to be the ruler and not do a fucking thing for anybody except for kill 2 people. So, yeah, it is like that among them. And then the one who thinks he's first isn't even a servant to them. As a matter of fact, he goes off on his own to sit in a place so other people come to him. I can't. We're not even there yet. I'm getting high blood pressure for part 3 of this book that we are never reading again because that shit is snaky. No, I'm just kidding. We'll eventually read part 3 of Das Bible. But I hate it. I hate the New Testament more than that Baby Shark song. Like, I could listen to the Baby Shark song before, or a bazillion times before I would ever consider reading part 3 of Das Bible, because it's some snake shit. But I will read it to prove a point, to show everybody that Peter is a murderer and a coward, and Paul is full of shit. I hate the New Testament. Anyway, listen. But it is not so among you. Whoever wishes to become great among you shall be your servant, and whoever wishes to be first among you shall be slave to all. Unless he's Peter and he's got the death stare. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and give his life for many. Mostly because I'm grounded because God Jr. is very upset. And they came to Jericho. And as he was going down from Jericho, his disciples and a great multitude and a blind beggar named Bartimaeus was sitting by the road. And when he heard that it was Jesus, the Nazarene, Jesus is not a Nazarene. Jesus is a Nazarite. Was Jesus a Nazarene? Because that's what Saul and no, Samson and yeah, and Samuel. They were Nazarenes. They couldn't cut their hair, remember? Couldn't have honey, couldn't like touch dead things. And every time he broke a vow, he had to shave his head. Yeah. Jesus, I didn't think he was a Nazarene. He wasn't promised anything. And he didn't make a promise. But anyway, okay. That Jesus was coming, he began to cry out and say, Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. And many were sternly telling him to be quiet, but he kept getting louder. And Jesus stopped and said, come here. And the people around were like, ooh, he's about to say some shit. No, I have no idea where that lipstick is. I was thinking about it, that I should be wearing it. But I was late on the live stream. And then I was like, well, fuck it. I can't find it. Yeah, it's one of. Dude, I want to remember what I'm saving all these cigarette packs for. I've got like fucking 27 empty cigarette packs down here. And I don't know what I'm saving them for. But I feel like if I throw them away, I'm going to need the cellophane or something. And then I'll be like, I just threw away fucking 25 cigarette packs. I'm going to be so depressed. But that's super depressing. Found my hairbrush. Man, I'm so stupid. Okay, hold on. Let me get through this real quick. Okay. And Jesus said, so what do you want? And they told, and then the people were like, he wants you. So listen, be strong. And casting aside his cloak, he jumped up and came to Jesus. And answering him, Jesus said, what do you want? And the guy was like, pepperoni. No, it says rubberoni, pepperoni, ravioli. I want to see the color pink. And Jesus said, go your own way. See the color pink. Right? That's exactly what he said. He said, go on. Your faith has made you well. And immediately he saw the color pink. Okay. So what do you guys think? Man, now I'm so depressed. I don't know where my lipstick is. Oh, yes, I do. Look. All right, that's as good as I can get it without looking in a camera or a mirror. Go your own way. Go your own way. You can call it another sunny day. Some thermometers do going. Maybe I'll just take all the cellophane off them. So in case anybody needs, a place to hold the herb that they have just bought, maybe I can use them for that. Yeah, we do need to get me some more colors. There, I have my lipstick. Hey, your bull for Jesus has risen. That's what I do every 420. I'm like, man, let's smoke some weed, Jesus. I look, Firefly. I have the biggest man crush on your profile picture. Now, those other pictures you send me in my DM, I'm just kidding. She sent me one picture and she has the cutest lipstick I've ever seen. It's a real nice pink color. Yeah. Okay. I love you too, Firefly. Two stone. Oh, listen, man, it's so man. 3 feet of 3 feet of yellow smoke. Oh, it was a real nice color. But we're gonna smoke this cigarette real quick and then we'll decide if we want to hear chapter 11. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do want chapter 11. So we're gonna smoke this cigarette. And we're going to do chapter 11 because I think this is the chapter where Jesus shits all over his own brother. Jesus' brother is like, for somebody who doesn't want to be known, you want to be known. Like you do things to be known, even though you're like, I don't want to be known. Why don't you go down there to Jerusalem? Because Jesus' brother knows that they want to unsubscribe God or unsubscribe God the Third from God Jr.'s YouTube. And Jesus' brother knows all about it. And Jesus said, when I go down there and die, it's going to mean something. When you go down there and die, it ain't going to mean shit. And Jesus mic dropped his own brother, saying your death ain't going to mean shit. No one's even going to be sad when you die. There's going to be a whole book about my death, bro. And listen, everybody is going to read it. And it's going to be real sad. Is there going to be a book written about your death? I don't think so. And no one's going to care if you die. As a matter of fact, they're going to be like, Jesus' brother who? Did he even have a brother? I don't think Jesus had a brother. And then they're going to look it up and be like, God bless America. Jesus did have a brother. And they're not even going to care. That's the most fucked up thing that Jesus could say, especially to his brother. Yeah, you want me to go down there and die, but it's going to mean something when I die. But when you die, it ain't going to mean shit. We're getting there. Okay. Are you guys going to stick around? Okay. So, are you guys sticking around for chapter 11? We're going to go into chapter 11, bankruptcy, right now. uh, Man, I love this book. I'm sorry. I love this book right now. I'll hate this book in a couple more chapters, but I just, man, maybe everybody else will get excited as me once they hear Jesus might drop his own brother. Here we go. And as they approached Jerusalem at Bethphage and Bethany, near the Mount of Olives, which may or may not be a bar, he sent two of his disciples. What? I thought it was on the mountain with his brother. Is that a different book? How many chapters of this book is left? Mark 15. Oh, there's only 16 chapters. Okay. Well, this book really sped up his demise, didn't it? There's a whole bunch of shit that happens way before this. And Jesus mic dropped his own brother on a mountain. It's ah, man. I'm really sad this isn't the part. Okay. So he sent two of his disciples saying, look, go down over there. There'll be a donkey and a colt, and I need you to get them for me. Right? Get them for me. And people ask you, just say Jesus, and it'll be okay. So that's what they did. And some of the bystanders were saying to them, "What are you doing?" And they were like, "Jesus." And they were like, "Okay." So they brought the colt to Jesus and put their garments on it. And many spread their garments on the road, and others spread leafy leafy branches, which they had cut from the fields. I thought branches were from trees. No one knows what's happening. And those who went before and those who followed were crying out, "Hosanna, Baruch Shephadonai. Blessed is the coming kingdom of our father David. Hosanna in the highest." Yeah, okay. And then he entered Jerusalem and came into the temple. And after looking around, he departed for Bethany with the 12, since it was already late. And on the next day, when they departed from Bethany, he became hungry. Oh, the fucking fig tree. This gives me post-traumatic stress because Jesus ain't supposed to be killing things. Hi, cousin. And seeing at a distance a fig tree in leaf, he went to see if perhaps he would find anything on it. But when he came to it, he found nothing, and his hangriness took over. Okay, hold on. He found nothing, for it was not the season for figs. And he answered and said to it, "May no one ever eat fruit from you again." And his disciples were listening. And they were like, "Holy fuck, Jesus just killed something." I know it says Jesus ain't supposed to kill nothing, but I'm pretty sure he just killed that fig tree. Actually, I'm 100% sure he just killed that fig tree. But I'm sure he'll turn it into a lesson. Why did he kill the fig tree? Jesus is hangry. And then he didn't get no food. I was reading chat. Sorry. And answered. And when they came to Jerusalem, he entered the. Look, Jesus is setting up his finale. He's getting his t-shirt table set up outside. He's got his CD table set up outside. But then when he goes inside, he sees the people setting up selling booths on inside of the temple. So Jesus tells Peter and them, "All right, go get my bag." And in this bag, he has wrestling boots. He has wrestling shorts, like John Cena wrestling shorts, and a Stone Cold Steve Austin vest, right with his wrestling boots. He's looking like he came out of a 90s grunge music video. And then the next thing you hear is, "Just one of those days." And then the thing opens up and Jesus is all like fucking on tour singing, "Just one of those days when you don't want to wake up." Right. And then next thing you know, Jesus is stone cold stunning people. Like they gave the Pharisee a rock bottom And then the head priest, the one that was priest before Caiaphas, he gave him the rock bottom through a pool table. It was like a whole thing. It was a whole fucking thing. And then you got the apostles in there fucking running the ropes, clotheslining people. And people are like, oh my God, this is so great. So they actually went to church and something fun happened. They were so surprised. And when Jesus is done with that, he's like, courtesy of God Jr., fuck you. Right. And he just continues it with this concert like nothing happened. And people were buying so much merchandise outside and like putting on their t-shirt that they just bought for Jesus concert. It's fucking finale, final tour date. It was like, yeah, hair flying everywhere. Exactly. It was just one of those things. And then Jesus, after that, okay. And some of the bystanders were saying to them, oh, wait, I'm in the wrong one. And wait, where am I at? Here I am. And he began to teach them, saying, is it not written, my house will be called a house of prayer for all the nations, but you have made it a robber's den. Yeah, because they're rat snakes. And they got to cockroach up all the gold because they're gross. And the chief priests and the scribes heard this and began seeking how to destroy him because they were afraid of that stone cold stunner. For all the multitude was astonished at his teaching. The JCW, dude, did you know I watch that every Thursday night? And I like every Thursday night I watch the JCW. Usually after I finish my live stream, you'll catch me here watching the JCW. Yep. They've got these wrestlers on there. They're called the Brothers of Funstruction. They're dressed like clowns. I think it's Yak Off and Whack Off, something like that. Okay. And whenever evening came, they would go into the city. And as they were passing by in the morning, they saw the fig tree that Jesus killed. And being reminded, Peter said, Rabbi, behold the fig tree which you killed. Yeah. And Jesus said, have faith in God. Because listen, I'm telling you, whoever says to this mountain, be taken up and cast it into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes what he says is going to happen, it shall be granted to him. Because listen, I'm telling you, all things for which you pray and ask and believe that you have received them, then they shall be granted to you. And whenever you stand praying, forgive. And if you have anything against anyone, so that your Father also, who is in heaven, may forgive your transgressions. But if you don't forgive, neither will your Father who is in heaven. And they came again to Jerusalem. And as he was walking in the temple, these terrible ass God people came to him and said, By what authority are you doing these things? Or who gave you authority? Because I'm pretty sure the church did not give you authority to do that. Yeah. Because I'm in the church and like, I don't remember voting on that, like giving you permission to heal people because you can't be healing our people. Because if you go around healing our people, then they won't believe us anymore. And we can't pretend that we're doing stuff. Duh. And then he said, I will answer your question with a question of my own. The most aggravating shit. Ah, just answer the question, Jesus. But nope, Jesus doesn't answer the question. He says, well, who baptized John? Who baptized John Le Baptiste? Was it God or was it a man? And they were like, well, if we say a man, then, you know. But then if we say God, I don't know. We don't know. Jesus, we don't know. And he says, well, then I don't know either. Good luck. Talk to you some other time. Yeah, that's the end of that chapter. Ah, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, Jesus is just going to be talking in riddles again. This next one, man. Oh, yeah. Okay. Huh. I don't think we have time for chapter 12. So, what'd you guys think? And I promise that Jesus shitting on his brother, that should have already happened. And maybe it'll happen in another book. But his he his brother said, yeah, because it happens right before Jesus goes to Jerusalem, right before the Passover. The first Passover since Jesus has been on this tour. Um, but he shits all over his brother, man. And it is the funniest thing because he's like, it's going to mean something when I die. He literally mic drops his brother on a mountain. Man. Wheels, do you watch the JCW? Because actually, it's a really fun little program. The guy with one leg fights for JCW. I don't know. He's the one that always walks around with the fake leg, but he uses it real nice. But he takes it off in the middle of matches and shit. It's so funny. Okay, look, First off, it says nothing about I would say that about Paul before I said that about Jesus. Especially we're reading the story of Jesus, it does not seem like Jesus has time for sex. But in the book of Paul, the only thing he talks about, or in the letters of Paul, the only thing he talks about is fornicating. So you know that's exactly what he's doing. He left his wife and his kids over on the other side, and then his sons come to meet him. And then that's all he keeps talking about is fornicating, fornicating, don't fornicate, don't fornicate. Because you know that's exactly what he's doing. Jesus had said nothing about fornication. Jesus hasn't even said anything about being gay. But you know who did say something about being gay? The Pharisee Paul. Jesus never did. As a matter of fact, Jesus says, all that shit that's in Das Bible, yeah, that's all man shit. And Moses made a lot of that shit because you guys wouldn't shut the fuck up. God literally has 10 rules. But Paul, you can tell what he's doing by the way he's writing. So stay away from girls. That's because that's all he does. Don't be gay because you know that guy is gay. Just I seriously have a problem with the New Testament with book 3 of Das Bible. I have a really difficult time with that. Jesus didn't have a wife. We're reading about him right now, and he does not have a wife. He hangs out with a bunch of dudes. Jesus ain't got a wife. He ain't got time. He's literally just walking around with a bunch of dudes. No, Jesus is not insecure. That's why he talks the way he talks. That's why he can give these motherfuckers the stone cold stunner and ain't nobody gonna say anything to him. Jesus mic drops on these people all day long. And we get to witness it because we're on the tour with him. So we get to witness him mic dropping people. Because if you can picture it in your head, Jesus shits on everybody, man. King David hated women because he was legitimately gay. And Saul even said that. Saul said, do you think I don't know? He said that to Jonathan. Saul said that to Jonathan. Do you think I don't know? You are doing this shameful shit with him. I don't know what that sound was. And I don't think Jesus even had time to have a wife. Because he goes on this tour, and people say this tour lasted 3 years. But there's only one Passover in this story. So this thing literally lasted a year. From like the second Jesus started his tour till the second he ended his tour, there was only one Passover. So I don't think Jesus had time to be married. And David hated women because he was a homosexual, or bisexual, because he did sleep with women to have babies. Because remember, David did the eulogy for Jonathan, and he said, "Your love for me surpassed that of a woman. You are my soulmate." But see, that's when we get into like the shit that's controversial that Christians refuse to pick up on, because how dare them? How dare you tell the truth about Das Biblia because it hurts their feelings? I don't know why you keep saying that. Clearly, Jesus doesn't have a wife. This tour lasted literally a year. If Jesus had a wife, he would have had to have bring her. Or they would have made mention of her. But it doesn't. The only thing it says about the women were with Jesus is they were there to fulfill his needs. It doesn't say what needs those are, but I can imagine Jesus probably did get some strange, but not as much as we think or would like to imagine. But I'm sure Jesus did not have a wife. And once Mary came around, all that other women satisfying his needs became less and less. I'm not getting in this argument with you, Ricky. That's some troll shit. We're reading the book. And we know the people that wrote the Bible are Jesus's enemies. So they the people who put these books in here were Jesus's enemies. I don't think the people that wrote it were Jesus' enemies. I think that the journalists, because I'm saying it's journalists that wrote this New Testament, they wanted to get as close to the truth as they can. And they put this story of Jesus in here because they knew people would not pay attention to it because it doesn't go with their narrative from Paul the Pharisee. So people will skip over the story of Jesus, or they only read certain parts of it because it's easier to follow what the Pharisees said. And psychoanalyzing Jesus and trying to put shit in there that's clearly not in there is not the purpose of reading the story of Jesus. Reading the story of Jesus was to find out what kind of person he was. You know, how could we, how could we, as weirdos like we are, apply the strength of this story of Jesus into our our lives. You know, the whole thing, what would Jesus do? No, that should have been what would Paul do? Because Jesus would shit all over everybody. He wouldn't have gave one shit about anything. He would have been like, call them out by name. Call them out. If you see them, point them out. If you see them, point them out. That's exactly what Jesus would have did. Yeah, okay, but we're not there, Ricky. And that is some troll shit. And Ricky, I think if that's seriously not some shit I would answer because I've never seen it. But you could always look for it in there and then tell me what makes you believe that. Because I'm telling you, Jesus don't have time for a woman. We're reading it. It's literally a year long. He didn't have time for a woman or a wife. He wasn't even thinking about that. He was coming to call the weirdos to get them closer to God, not to go get some pussy. That is clearly not what Jesus is doing. Jesus don't. Right. And when Mary gets introduced into the story, Jesus wouldn't have even been alive very long after that. So they couldn't have really gotten married. They couldn't have done any of that stuff because after he meets Mary, he dies. And the only people at the bottom of Jesus' cross was Mary, the uh, James and John's mom. Some say Jesus's mom was there, but I highly fucking doubt it because he's like, "You're not my mom." And Lazarus, which we're going to find out about Lazarus in the next book. That is the only person in this book that is described as someone Jesus loved, was a man called Lazarus. And it's Mary's brother. It's Mary and Martha's brother. And his name is Lazarus. And Jesus brings him back to life. And first he cried for him and then brought him back to life. Yeah. Well, if you get offended by somebody, it's because there's something wrong with you. The way you feel about somebody is something that's going on inside yourself, which is one of the main issues with these people is they get so insecure that they get single-minded. They get single-minded and the only thing they can think is kill, 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 kill. It don't matter. It don't matter if they did something good. It doesn't matter if they did something bad. The second you make them mad, they're going to kill you. Yes. So does that mean I'm secure? First time ever in my life I've been secure. So I'm usually insecure, but I am secure about this Bible shit because I'm actually pretty good at it. I was made to be a sage. Yeah. I wonder when God was putting my flavor packet of life together, if he was like, you know what? She'll be a perfect sage. We're going to make sure she never gets gray hair. And Ricky, I'm not one to tell you what is right and what is wrong. The only thing I said, the only thing I was saying is the way this book is written, Jesus has no time for a wife. Like zero time for a wife. Because he does nothing but walk around. No, because it seems like you're pushing my buttons on purpose. Because I'm reading this and clearly Jesus does not have a wife. And that kind of gets aggravating to me because people say that all the time. Did you know Jesus had a wife? Well, have you ever read this fucking book? Because Jesus clearly had no time for a wife. Like, clearly, no time for a wife. Jesus spent that whole year from Passover to Passover going on tour, literally on tour. So, the whole like Jesus had a wife thing, it's like, yeah, well, I would like to know where she's at because they don't talk about her at all. And Mary was Jesus' wife. It wasn't like 3 months after Jesus met Mary that he was crucified. So she couldn't have been his wife. And she wasn't there with him all the time. They had to call her on their ancient cell phones a bunch of times. And I think the defense, because remember, I'm missing a fucking 1/4 of my brain. I can't concentrate really good, so I get flustered easy. That's why it's hard for me to deal with trolls and why I have so many moderators. Yeah, but I don't think when it comes, like, I can't be a stripper because I'm afraid to be naked. I don't wear shorts because I'm afraid my legs look weird. But when it comes to the Bible, I don't think I'm really insecure about the Bible. I think I just have I have a problem understanding other points of view of the Bible because I've read it and it clearly does not say those things. That's why I named my Bible God Said What? Because he did not say that. Yeah, but still, books, if Jesus had a wife, don't you think his enemies would have made it a point to put it in here? Just like with David, King David. Do you think if he wasn't gay, they wouldn't have put it in there? There's a lot of things in the Bible. Everybody's like, it's fake. Yeah, but there's some things in here that's like, yeah, that shit seems true. You know what I mean? Like, it could happen that way. And especially, like, with the kings and shit back then, they really didn't even care about if you were gay or not. Like, really, that whole thing only came because somebody saw it and got offended. That wasn't a God thing. God doesn't give a shit. Have you seen how he made people dress back in the day? Jesus is a freak. No, not Jesus. God Jr. God Jr. is a freak. Now, God the Third, Jesus, he's a way serious guy. He is way serious. Well, I think the whole insecure thing is because I got a bit over defensive, I think. But but in my defense, Ricky, you see what the trolls do to me. You have no idea. I'm telling you, where we paused in the Old Testament to read this whole Jesus thing, where we stopped in the Old Testament is right where God starts coming into himself and begins to party. I paused it there on purpose so we could read this. So after this terrible ass shit is over, we can go read something funny. It's very strategic in my mind. I did it. Yeah, I think Jesus is like 31 or 32 right now. I'm I'm older than Jesus. I'm like 10 years older than Jesus. My God. Help me, Lord. Ah. How many people in here are older than Jesus? Is it just me? Because Jesus died when he was 33, right? And I am, oh my God, I'm going to be 40 this year. Oh my God. Oh, I'm going to be fucking 40. And I don't have gray hair. I want gray hair. Are we ready? I know, cousin, and I am sorry. It's just that whole Jesus is married thing. It's like, yeah, but there's no proof. And I'm telling you, when Mary came into the picture, Jesus did not have much time left. Like, seriously, had no time left. That's the other thing is God got rid of most all the angel human people. Well, no, during the flood, he got rid of all of them. You are really stoned, Ricky. Your inner troll is coming out. When do you turn 40, Firefly? Man. Wheels. You're going to be 40 this year too, ain't you? Yeah. I think Wheels' birthday is like fucking 4 days after mine or something. We're amazing ass Scorpios. I'm hotboxing. Oh shit. Well, open your window because you're getting too philosophical. I'm not even high enough for philosophy right now. Your mind did come up with some shit. Ricky, you control whenever you want. Just remember, when it comes to Das Bible, I will defend it because it needs defending. When, when? Yep. One of the fun thing about my household, my Dustin and my daughter, Supersonic, are both Libras, and me and Kelso are both Scorpios. You're going blind? Wheels. God is a party animal, I'm telling you. Man, just wait till we get done with this horrible shit. You know, CNA has had me read this, and then they quit showing up. And then we had to pause God's funness to read this terrible ass story. You'll see God loves the trumpet. He loves swing music. God's favorite music is swing music. And if you've ever heard swing music, it's the white guy's jazz. Ah, damn. Wheels. Man, I need to come see you. I do. I need to come see you eventually. Oh yeah, and Firefly, yeah, I am a Scorpio. Neil, are you a Scorpio? Parties of perfection. Does that say parties to perfection or parties parties of perfection. He does have perfect parties with weirdos. And just wait because you'll get to see David dancing on naked on the ark. Oh, did we already pass that part? Yeah, we already passed that part. When David's like, my man meat is beautiful. He did say that. You're a Capricorn, mud duck. Look, I don't think I've ever met a Capricorn in real life. Well, okay, maybe I have, but I've never met one who's actually been like, I'm a Capricorn. Because I have no idea what a Capricorn is or their behavior. You're a secret psycho, ain't you, Miss Muddy? The Indians, like not Native Americans, like forehead dot Indians. They have a couple girl gods. Um, and I think they've got a guy god that dresses like a woman god, or maybe it is a woman god that has man like features, something like that, and it's Shiva, and they dance. She dances. She does a dance of destruction. And they also have a lot of other lady gods. Yep, sure do. Because the Indians are very lovey people, and love comes from a woman. So they have a lot of woman gods. And God, in the beginning of Genesis, there was a male and a female. There was a male god and a female god, and they were put together. And that's why they make them like us. I'm telling you, the first couple chapters of Genesis belong in a different book. They are not from Das Bible. It's from a different book. At least chapter 1 for sure is from a different book. Because he created Adam and Eve. And they were godlike. But then he made another an Adam and Eve out of dirt. And he let the first Adam and Eve roll around somewhere, go somewhere. And then he set the new Adam and Eve in a garden and wasn't going to let them out of the garden. Read the first chapter of Genesis. Like if you want to know, read Genesis. Like a lot of these questions you could answer yourself. You just got to read the book. Or go back to my first, to my Genesis 1 videos or the beginning of. You got to go back to the beginning to answer a lot of that question for sure. Well, I don't know if it's called Mother Nature. I don't know. I never found out what happened to the girl god. It doesn't ever say. But in the Norse religion, the woman god got her baby gods to team up on the dad god and stick him in a box for 10,000 years. As a matter of fact, everything in Revelations is Norse. It's what happened to the gods before time. The giant dodgeball fight in space. That that is Revelations. Revelations is shit that already happened. And it almost plays out just like the Norse. They stuck this god in a box for like 10,000 years. And every 10,000 years, they got to let him out, you know, and then they got to fight to put him back in there because now I'm not Norse. I only know a couple of Norse people. Um, but I kind of know what happened with their god Enki. Not Enki, Anak, Anaki. He was the one that was put in a box because the baby gods got mad. And then somehow we ended up with God Jr. and his right arm. Yep. And where we're at in the Old Testament is God finally turned 21 and he's in a party with David. Is it the picture from yesterday? Hold on, I'll look at it, Muddy. Where'd you put him at? Oh, there you go. Oh, the little poem thing? Yeah, I like this a lot. Hold on. A lot of the people from the Norse religion I met are also very awkward people. And they don't make a lot of sense sometimes. Yeah. Stand up and pray. Stand up and pray. That one. Yeah, I don't even know that song, but I was singing it earlier. Stand up and pray. Stand up and pray. I don't even know that song. No, nothing. Everybody fall asleep on their keyboard. Wake up. Yeah. I'm smacking my ruler around on your desk. Get your head up. Yeah, I'm doing stuff. So what did you guys think about so what did you guys think about Jesus killing this fig tree? Jesus getting hangry and killing the fig tree. Jesus got hangry. The most human emotion that I've seen from Jesus, other than pissed off, he got hangry. And then he killed a fig tree because he was mad. Don't you wish, like, when you guys are hungry, you could just go kill a tree? See, that joke would have been good for my thing yesterday, Wheels, when Jesus rolled over and farted on a boat full of people. Hey, hey, we're supposed to say heaven, not Valhalla. That's not a place that we go. Well, that I don't. See, Wheels, this would have been. You're not, well, you're not blind yet. But that whole farting poem, you should have did that yesterday when Jesus literally rolled over on this boat full of people and farted on them and went back to bed. He did. He said, "Smell my butthole. I don't care you're sinking." What does everybody else think? Like about Jesus getting hangry? Or about how Jesus, how about this? Okay, good night, Miss Muddy. I guess it's a time for all of us to go to bed, ain't it? Okay, well then let's say good night. I love you, Miss Muddy. I'll smoke this cigarette with you. Jesus is the best friend, man. It's like, I'm so glad I'm not his enemy because could you imagine how much shit he would talk to your face? How bad he would make you feel for being you? Look, I'm glad he's my friend. Good night, Neil. Oh, never mind. I thought that was Neil. I'm sorry. I was thinking of Neil, and for some reason, I I read Neil. Neil, did you hear that? I was thinking about you. Wonder what I was thinking. Well, I'm on these new antipsychotics, so just imagine what I was thinking is probably something psychotic. Who knows? Because I could have been thinking about covering Neil in a room full of balloons. No, I'm just kidding. I just read that as Neil. Yeah. No, you got to keep Wheels here. I'm telling you, that was my first boyfriend in like the second grade. As a matter of fact, I think Wheels has been my longest friend. Yep. Yeah. Well, I would say put him in the yellow chair, but it turns out I stole that chair because it was comfortable. Hi, everyone watching. Press like and subscribe and chat in the chat. We're done with our reading and we're just talking about random things. So feel free to join the chat. Actually, we were sitting on the Hilton Hill. Remember that, Wheels? Oh, do you remember that time my mom broke me out of juvie and I hung out with you and we got drunk and then I convinced my mom I had the bird flu? Neil, are you leaving? Don't leave. Are you leaving? Don't leave. I'll hit a bowl again if you don't leave. We had such a good time. Hey, wifey, don't get so mad. Wait, what'd I do? What response did I give you? Am I responding? What did I respond to? I don't know what I did. What'd I do? Were you respecting me? Somehow that makes me feel gross. Oh, you ordered the Bible? Awesome. Is it the pink one? Man, that was at Angelo's house, Wheels. I think that old man died. Oh, and do you remember that time we were driving down 8 Mile and we saw my mom beating up that cop? Oh, Eric's wife. I'm not allowed to call you wifey. I'm not allowed to call you wifey. You already have a wifey. Oh, yeah. I am also married. Yeah. It's all right. In my sweet dreams, I kiss your forehead, Firefly. Don't even worry about it. And I was talking to Eric's wife because I brought up some old shit that may or may not get him in trouble. Wheels, we had so much fun. My mom is such a nutcase. Do you remember when my mom told my baby's dad that he had a small penis? Were you there for that? Oh my God. That was the weirdest conversation I've ever heard in my life. My mom told, not Dustin, my first kid's dad, she said, "You have a small penis." I said, "Mom, how do you know that?" She said, "I can just look at him and tell." I was like, oh my God. Oh, my mom. But she was smoking crack back then. So, oh my God. It was a good time. Oh, look. Hold on. Things are happening. My chat's not working again. Oh, okay. Now I can read chat. She knows all the stories. Sorry, Kim. Look, I'm not even drunk. Although I have to admit, I'm drinking this Mountain Dew Blaha Blast, and I've got some kind of sugar high going on right now. I don't know what's happening. Oh my God. You guys have been together for a long ass fucking time, haven't you? I just cracked the first beer. I want to go in there and take a drink of my Everclear. What if I take a drink of Everclear? You're an insomniac with a sleeping disorder. That's okay. I'm a nympho with a sex addiction, so, whatever. Actually, that last statement is totally not true. I just like saying that. Oh, yeah. Why don't we light another one? It's a good time. I'm supposed to get up and help Dustin clean the house and give the cats a bath tomorrow. But I'm staying up with you guys. Oh my God. How do you open these things? Dude. Oh my God. Hey, Wheels. Have you listened to any mindless self-indulgence lately? Um, did everybody leave? I listened to that one song that they always sing. Take me now, fuck me later. Yeah. I can't even sing the rest of that song. Yeah. I know that, Ricky, but I cannot drive my own self. Did I tell you? Look, that time when I accidentally overdosed on my medicine, which got me in a lot of trouble because it looked like I did it on purpose, but I didn't. But she took my license from me, the ER doctor. I couldn't even have a license, but she made sure that I could never get a license. My name is flagged on the little DMV thing that I can never have a license because I accidentally overdosed on my medicine one time. They're like, "Oh, you accidentally did that. Here's your punishment." Well, I don't know about that because I know The first weekend I was going to come down there, the car, the wheel on the car fell off, which was a whole thing. And then with the new car, the fucking transmission went out. And then they just got this truck. So I don't. It wasn't really a close call, though. Because to tell you the truth, me getting my head kicked in the way it did, the best thing that ever happened to me. Because imagine if it wouldn't have happened. I would have never read the Bible. I would have never found out how funny God was. And I would have never found out how badass Jesus was. And then I would have never thought about going live stream or making a video. I would have never thought of any of this stuff. And then the world would be missing out, especially in the world of all fake. People eventually, they need to see something real, something that's not sitting here wearing makeup, dressed all professional with a bunch of books behind me and all that shit. Like I read a fucking book. Bitch, bye. I'll fucking read a book when you wash your ass. I don't fucking know. But I ain't reading no damn book. You kidding me? And could you guys imagine that? Like if my ass tried to be professional. But I would have never had the courage to do any of this stuff if I would have never got injured. And I would have never looked back and got the opportunity to see the freaks grow up, even though they suck, into tiny ass little adults. Did you know my daughter, she got her temps today? Her temporary driver's license, she got it today. Supersonic did. Right. Yeah. But I'm telling you, before my brain injuries, I would have never had the gumption. Hey, the freaks, they're cool little people. I mean, they really suck at life. I really suck at life. Their dad sucks at life. So we all suck at life together, and it's great. Except for they get so embarrassed by me because I just do and say weird shit. And they just look at me like, I'm like, no, we have a good time. And yes, I do talk like that in real life. And I do call this back room a party pen in real life. Like, that's not just a thing I do on here. I do it in real life too. It's bad. Dustin tells my therapist all the time. She just she talks so weird. It's like, no, I talk like a Jew from the old days. I don't know. I have so much fun. I am so thankful for my brain injuries. I know that is a thing that you should not be thankful that you're uberly fucked up and maimed for life. But I'm telling you, if that wouldn't have happened, none of the good things that have happened to me now would have ever happened to me if this wouldn't happen. You can scare her boyfriends by saying, "Oh no, no, no!" Dustin knows about our family. How long has he been with me? Since I was 18. I've been with Dustin since I was 18 years old. I had my 19th birthday with Dustin. And remember, Dustin met Andy before Andy died. The only one of my family members that I think Dustin's never met is Pip. And I think, and he never met George, Joe, or Danny. But anyways, that's enough talking about me. Let's talk about you guys. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex. Yeah. Yeah, but he's close enough to blood. What are we congratulating? I want to congratulate. Who are we congratulating? Is that sarcastic? Like, congrats. High wheels. I say words sometimes. Yeah. Oh, well, have a good night, Ricky. Yeah. Wash the Gibson out of you. Man, I feel like a puppet. Hi, my name is Nikki and I stab people. I stab people, 4 or 5 people every day. I try to stop that shit, but there ain't no fucking way. I stabbed them out like that. Yeah, that's a whole song. Wheels. I'm trying to breathe. Okay. I'm Nikki K and I stab people. Can anybody help me? Can anybody help me? Man, I'm going to listen to that song as soon as I'm done live streaming. I'm Nikki K and I stab people. Look, who's that? Look, my cat speaks Chinese. You're a manager because you have a good mask, kind of like the American Psycho. He was like a smart ass dude, but then he like killed bitches with an axe. Or like that Dexter guy, really good at crime, and he was really good at killing people until he wasn't. So you're a manager until you're not. Yo dick is like small fries. My dick is like supersized. Yo dick. Those are the only words I know. Yeah, that's right. But just remember, don't kill your cousin with a claw hammer. Got it? I feel like a puppet. Does anybody else ever feel like, do you ever feel like a fish? Like occasionally you feel like a fish and then you want to dance in your seat like you're a fish about to die because it don't have water. I feel like that sometimes. I tried to explain that to my therapist and she said I was hearing voices. I said, no, I'm not. I just feel like a fish. And she's like, okay, Nicole. Oh, I rolled a joint. I've been sitting here smoking this joint since I said I felt like a puppet. I hope I'm a good puppet, though. You know, I just don't want anyone sticking their hand up my butt. That might be a real problem. Yeah, my daughter is supersonic. She got her driving permit today. Yeah. I'm not allowed to have a license because I overdosed on my medicine, but it was not on purpose. But that lady had no chill. And she said, do you have a license? Hand it over. I'm going to cut it up. I said, I've never had a license. She said, good, because you're never going to get one. And I said, well, that fucking sucks. It's a way to tie me down. Appreciate it. Yeah. So I've got yous here. What do you think would have happened if Jesus wouldn't have talked as much shit as he talks to these people? What do you think would have happened to him? Yeah, the DMV does suck, actually. It does. Once you get out of there, it's like, ah, thank God. And then you remember why you don't want to go back. So you try to avoid it as much as possible. Mm-mm-mm. That is true. That is true. But what if he wouldn't have done that though? It's an all day thing for everyone unless you're getting an ID. And wheels. What if he didn't do that? What if he didn't? Oh yeah, never mind. Okay. Nobody would have listened. I forget this on a delay. I forget that. Yeah, that is true. And also, Ricky, with that shit you were talking earlier, just remember the people that put together Das Bible didn't even like they didn't even say that it was fake, even though they could have, because they paid some guys to try to do it. But not even Jesus's enemies said he didn't do what this book says he did. And they didn't add anything to the story because don't you think like they would add something like that to make Jesus look bad because they were his enemies? And I'm not saying that to bring up old hat. I'm saying that because I just thought of it. That's why I'm saying that. I just thought of it. Because not even Jesus's enemies, which are the people who put together this book, said that he didn't do that. They never said he didn't do it. And they added this story in here because at least most of it has to be true. I know you're not worried about it, but I just thought of it. Like a boring. Right. That is true. Oh my God, there's a cat at my door. She's gonna have to wait. So, what else do you guys want to talk about? Hold on, I gotta let this cat in before she wakes up, Dustin. Oh, sorry. Come on, Captain. I know, I heard you. Come on, come on. Go. Come on. All right, cat's in. I bet you had to go for sex, Firefly. Dirty girl. Okay, good night, Ricky. It's kind of like reading the Bible right now, right, Wheels? Like it's a boring story and they just don't bother reading it. Jesus' life was like the Bible. People only want to hear it if it's exciting, if it's worth listening to. See, that's why I'm so glad for my brain injury, because I can just talk all the shit I want to. That's not true, because no, I can't, because I do it to the wrong person. I'm getting beat up for sure. But reading this Bible people may try to beat me up, but then I'll never forgive them, and then they'll always feel bad. It is. But I've noticed like people only want to read the red words, like in the story of Jesus. They only want to read the red words, but it's like you got to read the whole thing. You got to read the context of what he's saying that in. You know what I mean? And how he's talking to the people trying to be an asshole to him. It's like that's what you need to read. Jesus is showing you how to stand up for yourself. Jesus is showing you that like their word magic doesn't really mean shit if you are doing these things. Fuck what they say. You know, do what's in your law or whatever. Do what they say, not what they do. So you listen to them, you just don't do it. Yeah. And you know what? That's what I love. Like I absolutely love this chat. Even if new people never come in, at least somebody understands and somebody is getting the Bible for real all up in their face. And Wheels, I hope you stick around because I'm going to John. I'm doing Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And then I'm going back to the Old Testament because that's where I fucking belong, in the Old Testament. I have no business reading the New Testament. That is not my favorite. But, and the person who even wanted to do the story of Jesus hasn't even showed up. So I kind of don't even know why I'm doing it. But I'm doing it because everybody needs to hear it, especially on a live stream. Because why the fuck not? Right? I don't know. And honestly, to tell you what, Wheels, I don't even know what I believe. I believe God is funny. I believe this story is worth reading. I believe you got to have a sense of humor. In order to read this book, you can't read this book sad and depressed. You have to have a sense of humor. You have to like be able to see the funny shit in the Bible. It's like, God, why the hell did you do that for real? That's what you're doing. Okay. You got to find the humor in it. Then it makes you feel better because it makes you feel like, man, at least I'm not the only one that retarded. Even God fucked up before the flood. Before the flood, he fucked up and he admits he's like, how long am I going to do this shit? And then he makes a flood. Yep. He floods God Sr.'s bathroom and then got kicked out and then had to live in a tent. And he wasn't really angry about that, but he did make it super complicated and totally gaudy. It was rainbow colored, filled with gold. So the outside of it was like plain and brown and shit. It was a red roof, like red roof, literally badger skins dyed red. And then the inside of it was tie-dye and gold. And then you had to keep a lamp going continually so no dark could get in there at all. It was golden tie-dye, brightest place you could ever think of. That was God's tent. Yeah, we read about it in Exodus. God was all over Pinterest. He wanted it to be perfect. Hey, Firefly, where'd you go? Look, my man crush. She leaves to go have sex, and then she's like, I'm here. And then she disappeared again. Man. Don't have lady sex during the middle of a Bible thing. Look, bad girl. Bad girl. I'm mostly just kidding about all that. But, okay. Look. Oh, does the pink Bible, did it have big words? Man, what am I doing in life? This live stream is 3 hours long. I'm never going to be able to edit this tomorrow. Oh my God. Oh, I'm doing that. I'm going to edit it tomorrow. And ask me if that's before or after I clean my house. Because I'm going to say before so I don't have to clean my house. But actually, I think Dustin's going to help me rearrange the party pen tomorrow. That's what we're supposed to do, Wheels. That's what we're supposed to do. Oh, good. Good. So you can follow along with my ad-libbing ass. And then you can actually talk to me about what's going on. Because I love my chat and what would I do without it because I am also ADD. But nobody ever has anything to say. Like when I'm like, well, what'd you think? Nobody even knows what I said. Ah, so, but at least you'll know what the fuck I'm talking about. Hey, Firefly, that's what we'll call it. One time I called it sleeping because my mom walked in and what's his face had his pants around his ankles. And my mom walked in and I said, I'm sleeping. My mom's like, is that what you call it? I said, I don't even know what you're talking about. I was sleeping. I believe what you feel. Hey, follow along. As a matter of fact, because here in a little bit, I am, this shit hurts my feelings so bad. Like the end of all these stories, it hurts me. So at least somebody will know what the fuck I'm saying. So when I'm like, such and such and such and such, you can go, you know what? I'm also such and such and such and such. Because there's real messages in here towards the end of the stories. Right before Jesus goes to, his time on Golgotha, his ending of all endings. Um, there's a lot of stuff, and it's really hurtful. That's why I didn't want to read it. So, yeah, follow along so then you'll at least know what the fuck I'm saying. And Wheels, you'll love it too, I think, because I think the story of Jesus was cookie cutted out for people like us who really want to know what the fuck it says and wants to do what it says. You know what I mean? They don't just want to be a light in a room full of lights because that's not how that works. They want to be a light in their own space. And Jesus was coming for people that want to be a light in their own space. They don't need to fit in. And we learn that as we go, and we learn. Man, man, the story of Jesus, man, this story is terrible, but it's good. It's a good thing to know, but it's a terrible thing to read. The notes in my Bible came from a lady from the Mormon church in Oregon. She gave me her family heirloom Bible and she put notes in it. But it's called a Concord or something. I don't know. I'll tell you. New American Standard Bible, the International Inductive Study Bible. So, yeah. But the Mormon lady put notes in here, and I ignore them because I try to think what I think and not what other people think. So, and when it comes to the Bible, I'm going to tell you, I watch my own videos Like if I need to hear some Bible for a minute, I'll put on my own video and laugh my ass off. Every time I say something, I'm like, haha, I know that happened. But I'm the only one that knows that happened because nobody else reads the Bible. So it's like, I watch my own videos, especially my old videos about the Songs of Solomon. That is my absolute favorite book, the Songs of Solomon, because I'm telling you, that chick is ugly as hell. And she's got purple hair and a giant belly button. I know things are happening with this woman, and she's got all fucked up teeth, hairy titties. It's a whole thing. Oh man, what happened? I was cleaning. Oh, we were talking about I don't watch a lot of things on the other Bible. Well, on the Bible I watch my own videos because I'm hilarious and amusing, especially when it comes to the Songs of Solomon. No, no, what I did was way worse than that. I wrote a title on all three of my Bibles. God said, what? All my Bibles have that title. Yep. I wrote over them, and I wrote all over them in Sharpie and gray Sharpie. All my Bibles say God said what? Yep. I got a problem. Hey, and that's alcohol abuse, by the way. Ricky, Wheels. Sorry, that sounds like something my cousin would do. Do you take notes in your Bible, Firefly? Fire starter. Come here and I'll get you. Psychosomatic etiquette say. Yeah. I don't know why the hell I keep singing that. Firefly makes me think of that song because of fire is in her name. Fire starter. Psychosomatic etiquette say. Okay. Oh my God. We've been on here for 3 hours. That is amazing. Wheels, I think that's your fault. But Dustin's gonna get so mad at me. Dustin's gonna get so mad. Well, that's amazing. Well, Wednesday was today, Friday. Yeah, Wednesday we might be on the exact part. Yeah, but it's okay. I Does anybody else get as fucked up about this story as I do? Like, I don't know. I have never seen anybody get really upset about it. Instead, they want to turn it into some kind of feel bad for Jesus. It's like, yeah, but do you know why you're feeling bad? And no, they don't know why they're feeling bad for Jesus because they refuse to admit these terrible ass God people literally killed God the third. And it's fucked up because they also killed God the first. And it's just affecting. I don't know. But actually, I don't know if these terrible ass people are the ones that killed God the first. I'm going to bet not because they started out Slaves and there was not a lot of them. They started out being um, others people's forced labor. They've always been that. They've always been Slaves and they're able to kill gods. Like, how does that happen? Like, you are literally insignificant, but they're brave enough to kill gods. It's like, why do people feel bad for these people? These people are evil, and nobody wants to find them evil. Why? Because of one word that hurts their feel bads. I don't want to get into the one word hurting people's feelings because it happens a lot. And if one word can shatter your cookie, stop adding butter. I don't know. Did everybody go to bed? I'm sitting here talking to myself. It's 1:30 in the morning and I'm not even drunk. I'm probably way past high though. I think everybody fell asleep on their computers. All right, that's it. I'm chasing you guys around with a bullwhip. All right, then you only get no lashings. Firefly's getting all the ass whoopings. Oh, dude, man, didn't I ever tell you about that time at Derby's? Dude, me and my cousin Mitchell, we took beer shots one night. We bought 2 beers and we just took beer shots and we got so fucking wasted of 2 beers. Yeah, dude, we were done for. Oh, these douchebags gotta go somewhere with their fucking little crotch rockets. Bam, bam. I'm so cool. Bam, bam. This vibrates my pecker. Let me do it again. Bing, bing. It's like if my vibrator made that noise, I would be taking it in to get its battery checked or something because that does not sound cool. That sounds uber annoying. It's like, dude, I hate douchebags. They think they're so cool with their loud little crotch rocket that sounds like it's about to fall over and die. See what I'm saying? I get angry about this shit. I'm a Karen. I'm telling you what, I'm a fucking Karen, man. I am a Karen. I'm one of those that looks out my window. There's a black guy that lives across the street from me. And he is so nice to me. Even though Dustin and them tell me I'm accidentally racist, and I tell this black guy racist things. But it's like, no, I just asked him and he told me. Like this one time, there was a drive-by shooting down the street, like literally 2 houses over there. And he came out and I said, let me tell you something. I'm so glad you're not ghetto. And he's like, I would never be ghetto. I said, well, I am glad you're not because I was worried. And he said, no, it's fine. I love that guy. Man, he's so nice to me. It's about to go one sometime. Hold on. I got to cough real quick. Oh my God. Okay. In my mind, it's like I want one time when these douchebags are, popping wheelies. One of them popped too far and fall on his face and burn his pants into his legs so he stops doing that shit. And I know that's a terrible thing to think, but it's either that or that hot gasoline fell all over his pecker. One of the two. So then him and his stupid friends quit doing that down my street like they're handsome. It's like you look like a redneck in your truck and you look like a redneck on your bike. You just look like a redneck. Oh yeah. But something's gonna happen, like, and I hope it happens while he's popping a wheelie. So then he becomes scared to do that shit. Oh, yeah, but I don't think he has new shoes. And if he does, they're Walmart shoes and they will melt on him. Yeah, that's a good idea. But I was thinking the pants thing because the exhaust will fall on his leg. But knowing my luck, he'd pop a wheelie in front of my house and then smash his head. But we have no sidewalk, so he'd smash his head in the street. And then it'll just be a pile of brains in front of my house. I hope they clean all of it up. See, it's getting late. I'm already talking about dark, demented shit. See, Satan's taking over. I need to stop doing that. Man, this is so cool. Wheels. When was the last time we got to hang out, dude? It's been a long ass time. And I'm glad you hang out on my live stream and you guys watch it. You know, you and Kim, right? Kim's watching. Hi, Kim. You guys will be okay. All right. Wait. No. Hold on. There you go. Wait. Gears. Okay. All right. I'll hit the outro, guys. I love you. Let's do it. Bye, guys. Love you.